Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Millie and I am doing my very best Hermione / Hagrid impersonation today. My hair is crazy. This is also, I think, the first video that you're going to see with my new dark hair. So yeah, I got my hair done. I am now a brunette, more of a brunette than I was. I've always been a brunette. But anyway, today's video is going to be a full face of E.L.F. products. So I've got a big old tub here of all of the products that I'm going to be using. As you can see, I've got some new products, I've got some absolute firm favourites, some old classics, some of my absolute favourite products. So we're just going to jump straight in. The first product that I'm using is the Putty Primer, but I have the luminous one. I also have the Hydrating Face Primer, but I think I want to use the Putty Primer today, just with the other products that I'm going to be using. I think that this will be a better fit. I really rate this, the Hydrating Face Primer, the one that's in the blue bottle. Really rate that, but I just want to use the Putty one today. So, like I say, this is the Luminous Putty Primer. I think this is like £9. You can see how many times I've used that just where I dug my fingernail into it. So I've got a little bit on the back of my nail and I will just put this sort of down the centre of my face. I do want to pick up the original Putty Primer because I love this one. On the few occasions that I've tried it, I really enjoyed it, but I do find that sometimes the like gold glittery bits in it are a bit much sometimes. You can kind of see how that's added a bit of a glow. Next up is the Camo CC Cream. I have this in the shade Fair 120. I did a whole review on this when I very first got it and I hated it when I first tried it. It's grown on me somewhat since then. It's not my favourite like base product by any means, but I feel like my skin is more hydrated now. If you have dry skin or dry patches, I don't think you won't like this, because when my skin was really dry, I hated it. But if you have oily skin or normal skin, I think you'll really like this. It does have a really good amount of coverage and they have brought out new shades fairly recently. In the last couple of months they've brought out more shades. I think they only had like 12 or something when they first brought it out, which isn't great. It's just more coverage than I'm used to, I think. I mean, you can see. Wow. It's just more coverage and it feels quite heavy on the skin. And if you have dry skin, it does sort of exaggerate that, I suppose. So the next two products that you would normally use would be concealer and setting powder. But because this is already quite dry and really full coverage, I don't want to use either of those products today. So I will just tell you which ones I recommend. The Hydrating Camo Concealer, the satin finish, the one with the white lid, really good. And the Halo Glow Setting Powder. If I was using a different base, these would be the ones that I would use. Really highly rate these. I just have slightly the wrong colour for concealer to use under the eyes and I already feel like I've got enough coverage and I don't necessarily need to set it, so won't be using these two, but really highly rate them. I desperately need to add some more colour into my skin, so I'm going to be going in with some more of the Putty products. I have the bronzer and the blush. I also have a new blush here, so we'll see how we get on. So the bronzer I have in the shade Tan Lines. The blush I have the shade Bora Bora, but today I'm going to be using the shade Tahiti, which is just a little bit deeper. And the monochromatic multi-stick I have here in the shade Sparkling Rose. So I'll see which blush I fancy. The putty blushes and the bronzers are fantastic. By far my favourite like base products for blusher and bronzer. So this is what the shade Tan Lines looks like. It's just a really great sort of all-in-one step. It's not too cool toned that you can't use it just as bronzer, but it's just the perfect shade if you are fair like me. There is one shade fairer than this one and if I remember rightly, it's called like Get Shady or Getting Shady, something like that. And although that is obviously perfectly suitable for my skin tone, it was just a little bit cooler and I wanted something a bit more bronzy. The colour is perfect. It lasts really, really well all day. It blends out really, really easily. It actually looks sort of like a shadow. Like, can you believe that that's a shadow under my cheek? Maybe. I don't know. So I think I'm going to try this new blush today. I've already used this a million times, the Putty blush, like I say, in both the shade Bora Bora and Tahiti, and I really, really rate both of them. But let's try something new. So this is the Monochromatic Multi-Stick, like I said, in the shade Sparkling Rose. So it is more of like a plummy, deeper tone. So I think I will put it on the back of my hand and then get it on the brush from there, just so I've got a bit more control. I don't really want to be drawing it onto my skin. Oh, that's pretty. It's more subtle than the Putty blushes. The Putty blushes are really, really like intensely pigmented. You need the tiniest little bit. I feel like I need to build this up a little bit more. Yeah, that's pretty. I'm happy with that actually. It's more dewy looking, like you can see that it's sort of giving me a little bit of a shine on the top of my cheeks, which I like. That's not a bad thing. So I have a powder bronzer. I think I'm just going to add a little bit of this sort of over the top of my forehead. So this is the Contour palette in the shade Light Medium, and I'm just going in with the lighter of the bronzer shades, and I'm just going to lightly dust that over all of that because they were two like putty creamy products. This will just help set it in place a little bit. Although the base does feel really dry, but I suppose it's long lasting. In that same contour palette, I'm going to take the lightest shade, which is a really nice like highlighter, and just really lightly tap that over the top of my cheeks. So I can't take myself seriously without any sort of brow on, so I'm going to go into the Instant Lift brow pencil. I have this in the shade Neutral Brown. It's not the finest tip, it is quite large, the end of it, and I do prefer generally something a little bit slimmer to really get those little hair-like strokes. But I really like the colour of this. I also really like that I'm fairly certain this was £3. You can't go wrong with E.L.F. prices. So it's easy enough to like quickly fill in your brow, which I can't talk while I do this, and I need a little mirror. Yeah, I really, really rate these pencils. I think I could be tempted to go a little bit darker just with my new dark hair. I feel like this was a really good shade when I was lighter, when my hair was blonder, but now that I'm darker, I do like a strong brow, and I feel like I could definitely go the next shade down in this now, so I might pick that up next time I'm near a Superdrug or a Boots. So the next product is brow gel, and I've not tried this before, but this is one that I've seen absolutely everywhere online. People really, really rate it. This is the Wow Brow, and I got this in the shade Brunette. The other shades looked quite cool, and I like more of a neutral, warm. I'm hoping that this will be okay for me. I was not expecting that to have fibres in it. That's really fibery. I hope you can see how like there's loads of fibres on the brush. It's a really tiny little brush as well. I like that. Right, let's see what this can do for the old brows. This is giving me the best fluffy brows. I really like that. Why did I not pick this up sooner? Oh my gosh. I think, personally, that is the fluffiest and most natural my brows have ever looked, and I am obsessed. That brow gel is incredible. It's so dry, but in a good way. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's properly like lengthened and fluffed out my brow hairs. I love that. My goodness, incredible. Like I said, I got that in the shade Brunette. I would be interested to see how that looks without any brow pencil on. As you could have seen before, I don't have a lot of colour in my brows. I do need to fill them in quite a bit. I have very blonde brow hairs, so I wonder what this would look like just on its own without any like pencil or powder or pomade or anything through the brows first. I'll have to report back on that one, but I really, really like that. So, next up, I'm going back into the contour palette, and I'm just going to run a little bit of that lighter shade, this one here. I'm just going to run a little bit of that through my crease, because I have a very exciting eyeshadow product, but I didn't see the need to pick up an eyeshadow palette specifically just to do this, because this is the only step that I needed to do. So just blending a little bit of that bronzer as a transition. So that's the crease colour done, and I'm going into one of my favourite products of all time, the liquid glitter eyeshadows. This is in the shade Dirty Martini. Oh, you can't see, but behind these flowers I have all of the shades, every single one of them. I use them pretty much every single day. I absolutely love them. I have a few of the shades down here, but I'm using the shade Dirty Martini today. So what I'm going to do is pack this onto the lid just straight from the applicator and then blend it out just with a flat fluffy brush, and it creates the quickest glittery smoky eye you have ever seen. I am absolutely obsessed with these liquid eyeshadows. They're so good. I wore one of them on my wedding day. I wore the shade Flirty Birdie on my wedding day, and that's like a really beautiful nude pink colour, but with really, really visible gold and silver reflex to it. They're just such a good formula, and these are like £5 or £6 or something. They're so cheap, they're so good, they last forever, and I absolutely love them. This is another one of my favourite shades actually, because it's almost like a khaki green with gold reflex in it. And if you're new around here, I love a green eyeshadow. I don't know what it is about green, I just love it. So you can see I just packed that on and then just tapping over the edges a little bit, and it's just like an instant glittery smoky eye. I love it so much. I don't think I could ever be without these. Genuinely, I use them so often. And I think the best part for me, because as I previously mentioned, I am a klutz and I am so messy, because this is a liquid formula, there's no fallout, and it's just so easy. It's mind-numbingly easy. So another completely new product to me is the Big Mood Mascara. It says this has an hourglass brush, mega volume, instant lift, clean, vegan and cruelty free. That's a point actually that I haven't even made yet. All of the E.L.F things are cruelty free and vegan, and they're so affordable and they're so accessible, and they have a great shade range in all of their products, apart from that CC cream when that first came out, but everything else, there's a really, really great shade range. That's one of the reasons why I love the brand, as well as it being vegan and cruelty free. I know that I can talk about something here, and no matter what your skin tone is, no matter how fair or deep your skin is, you will generally be able to get something to match your skin. They're just such an inclusive brand, and I'm absolutely here for it. So the mascara, Big Mood, let's have a look. Wow, that is a huge brush. That's ginormous. That is like the size of my eye, but it's like a natural bristled brush, which I generally prefer actually. I do like the Maybelline Lash Sensational, but generally speaking I do prefer a natural bristled brush. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so that's 2 coats on the upper lashes and 1 coat on the bottom. I'm really impressed with that, but I do have quite long lashes naturally. The big test for me is if it transfers throughout the day. I did find that because the brush is so big, it's sort of stamped on my lower lash line just from the brush. So when that's dry, I'm going to have to go in and clean that up. But I'll just be more careful next time. That looks really nice. It's really lengthening, really curling and really volumizing. It's not the thickest. Like, I do like quite a thickening mascara. I do like the thick spidery lash look. I can't help it, it's just who I am. So I will let you know how I get on with this, like transferring to both the lower lash line and up here as well. I get it with so many mascaras, but my favourite ones are the ones that I don't have to worry about doing that. So to finish off the look, I have the Plumping Lip Gloss. This is in the shade Praline, which isn't my favourite shade actually. I do prefer Mocha Twist, so let me just see. Yeah, Mocha Twist is more my vibe. So this is Mocha Twist on the top and Praline on the bottom. It's just a little bit pinker, a little bit lighter. That's nice with a lip liner and like nothing on your eyelids, but Mocha Twist is more what I'm going for today. So it is a plumping gloss, but not in a painful way. It just feels really hydrating. It gives a really decent amount of colour. It's not sticky or gloopy, it's just really nice and glossy. It doesn't last all day. It's not going to be, it's a gloss, but I really, really rate that. By far my favourite, most worn gloss at the minute is Mocha Twist. I have the setting spray, which is the Stay All Night Micro Fine Setting Mist. This is incredible. It's got like a little ball in it, but look at this mist. Micro Fine Setting Mist. So I'm just going to spray this a little bit all over the face. It's such a nice, refreshing spray. It's so good. It's really, really lightly scented. I don't like really fragranced sprays or anything like that. I don't enjoy them, but this one does dissipate quite quickly and it is only a really, really light scent. I think I'm just going to go in with a little bit of the putty blush because I do love it. It is one of my favourite products. So on the same brush, tiny little bit on there, stamp it off on the back of my hand. There we go. I feel like I look more like me now. I just needed more blush on. Who'd have thought it? So that is me done. That is me done for the day. So just a quick roundup of everything. The CC cream, if you have normal or oily skin, you'll probably really, really like this. If you have dry skin, I wouldn't recommend. It is quite thick and quite drying. Concealer and setting powder, really, really rate those. Didn't wear them today, but as general concealer and setting powder products go, they are really, really good. The putty blush and the putty bronzer, really, really like. I am going to hold judgment on the new blush that I tried today, the monochromatic multi-stick, because I just don't feel like today was the base for it, but I will keep on trying it and I will let you know. The powder, bronzer and highlighter set, really, really like these. Reach for this really, really often. It's just a really nice like undertone for fair skin. Obviously, the putty primer, really, really like that. Like I said, this is the luminous one. We'll pick up the regular original putty primer. I feel like if I didn't have this on under this, my skin would be suffering and I would look really, really dry. But the combination of these two is really, really nice. The brows brow pencil and that new brow gel. New favourites. Well, the brow gel. I already have the pencil. The brow gel is my new favourite. Can I say that after I've only had this on my face for 5 minutes? I'm saying it anyway. New favourite. The liquid glitters, absolute firm favourite. Will never stop being my favourite. The mascara, first impressions, really like it, but I will let you know how it lasts because that's the most important thing. The setting mist is absolutely phenomenal, and the lip gloss is also a firm favourite. That's everything that I wanted to talk about. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If there are any other brands that you want to see a full face deep dive of, then let me know in the comment section down below. I'm more than happy to do that. I have already done a L'Oreal one, and I think that's all I've done so far, but I have others coming up. I'm slowly collecting things from lots of other brands, and more will be coming your way. So subscribe if you want to see those other ones that I am working on. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye!